The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey folks, thanks for tuning in. You're giving veterans a voice today. Powered by WorkSimple, where we simplify your mission.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Lock in every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, for Tracer Rounds, targeting veteran resources.
I wonder why life feels like chaos, like tracer rounds flying all around you. That's why I created the Tracer Rounds podcast. Every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, I help cut through the noise and point veterans to those resources they need. Since 2023, join us.
To hear interviews with veteran artists, veteran business owners, and businesses that support veterans. Catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and MB Radio. If you miss a show, you can listen again on Wreaths Across America Radio every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Tune in to see if you are on target. MBR, giving veterans a voice.
And welcome back to the Tracer Rounds show, and you're on Military Broadcast Radio, where we're giving veterans a voice. And my guest is a little delayed in getting here, but the guest tonight is a music performer, and his name is Troy Cross. So I can tell you a little bit about him while we're waiting for him, and then maybe go ahead and play his song so that you'll kind of get an understanding of the type of music that he creates. But Troy is from East Tennessee. He's an Americana and roots type country artist, songwriting with whose timeless acoustic style turns everyday struggles into songs, hard won, and hope. As a recording artist, Troy blends country, Americana, bluegrass, and gospel influences into his story, first writing that feels lived in and honest. So he's one of those that kind of tells a story with every song he creates. For Troy, the music is more than a career, it's a calling. His faith shapes the foundation of his work, but he delivers it through characters and scenes that welcome both lifelong believers and those still searching for what's missing. Whether he's singing a quiet ballad or an uplifting anthem, Troy's songs aim to tell the truth with tenderness, offering dignity, encouragement, and clear reminder that no one is alone in the fight. On stage and on record, Troy creates a space where faith meets roots music and hope feels it's hope filled. So he reached out to MBR, and he had a song that he wanted us to play, and the song kind of resonated with us, and I think it resonates with our audience. So I thought I'd go ahead and play it right now, and hopefully he'll be on in too much longer, and then we can talk to him about it. But the song is called Ultimate Sacrifice, and he introduces the song in this clip, so we'll let you hear it. Here we go.
Hey, it's Troy Cross, and this next song I wrote to honor all those heroes that laid down their lives so we could live ours. This is Ultimate Sacrifice. Silent storms and morning light, names etched down deep in marble white. Young and brave answer the call. Quiet heroes gave their all. Not for glory, not for fame. When freedom's torch required a flame, writing history with their lives, willing hearts in troubled times. They were willing but didn't want to die, facing fear beneath unfriendly skies. No love greater than to lay down your life. They gave the ultimate sacrifice. Birthdays marked but never shared, empty chairs and silent prayers.
with flags that will not fly, the honor that will never die. They were willing but didn't want to die, facing fear beneath unfriendly skies. No love greater than to lay down your life. They gave the ultimate sacrifice. We won't let their memories disappear. They aren't just names carved into stone, but sons and daughters, flesh and bone. They gave their tomorrow for our today, so we won't forget the price they paid. They were willing but didn't want to die, facing fear beneath unfriendly skies. No love greater than to lay down your life. They gave the ultimate sacrifice. No love greater than to lay down your life. They gave the ultimate sacrifice.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
And you are back on the Trace Around Show on Military Broadcast Radio, where we're giving veterans a voice. And that was Ultimate Sacrifice by Troy Cross. It's an American tribute to those that have laid down their lives in defense of our freedoms. And he wrote that so that America's sons and daughters would be remembered. So I really think that's a fitting tribute, and we were really happy to play it. And we do have a radio channel. If you didn't know, if you download our app, you can listen to MBR Talk, and you can listen to this show and all the other great shows on the app. You can also listen to our 24/7 radio station, and it's the app is MB Radio, and it has 3 different ways to listen, 2 of which are the radio side, and then you have the talk side. And our radio station plays 24 hours a day. We play veterans music, and we also play other music that everyday music that you might want to hear. We play a little Elvis. We play Johnny Cash. We play Stone Temple Pilots. You name it, Toad the Wet Sprocket, the Hooters. You name it, we probably play it. And if we don't play it, reach out to us and let us know, and maybe we can add it. I want to go ahead and play one more song. I'm not sure if my guest is going to make it tonight. He must have had something come up. But I am going to bring up our own H Train here in just a few minutes after we play this next song. And we're going to talk a little bit about what MBR is doing with 3D printing and things like that. It's pretty exciting. We've got some interesting stuff come up, and I want you to hear about it. So we're going to play the other song by Troy Cross. It's called Shovel. So here we go.
I wear this cross around my neck like I got it figured out. When I stumble on a Saturday, I wrestle with my doubt. The man I want to be keeps losing to the one I try to hide. Every time I fall, I wonder, is God still on my side? If I were to look in the book of life, I think I might be right on the bubble. 'Cause it seems the only time I pray is when I'm staring down trouble. The Lord disciplines those He loves. He must love me more than double. 'Cause where I ask God to move a mountain, lost my way. And mercy in the morning when I fall on my knees again. Each failure is a lesson. In my weakness, He is strong. He's been holding my redemption in His hands all along. If I were to look in the book of life, I think I might be right on the bubble. 'Cause it seems the only time I pray is when I'm staring down trouble. But the Lord disciplines those He loves. He must love me more than double. 'Cause when I ask God to move a mountain, He gives me a shovel. So I'll dig through the darkness, scrape away the pain. Every blister on these hands reminds me I can change this mountain that I'm moving, one scoop at a time. It's carving out a valley where His glory's gonna shine. If I were to look in the book of life, I think it might be right on the bubble. 'Cause it seems the only time I pray is when I'm staring down trouble. The Lord disciplines those He loves. He must love me more than double. 'Cause when I ask God to move a mountain, He gives me a shovel. Yeah, when I ask God to move a mountain, He gives me a shovel. Yeah, when I ask God to move a mountain, He gives me a shovel.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
And we're back. And we're inviting H Train to the show. Well, I guess I got to make it where he can show up. Welcome, H. I can't hear you. You're muted. There we go.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you? So
I'm good.
So we were talking a little bit, or I was talking a little bit about the stuff that we have coming up. And I know that you're making some 3D items and we're creating a store. What are we doing? Tell us.
Well, I'll tell you what. So what we have done is we have figured out, since we were so blessed to be gifted this 3D printer from this other nonprofit, Soldier for Signatures, which
Signature for Soldiers.
What you said.
That's right.
I flip it all the time. But we was gifted this 3D printer, and with this 3D printer, we're able not to just teach veterans how to create, how to make. We're also teaching them a skill. Like, for example, 3D printing is a lot like welding. Like, you have to make sure that you know the degrees of the bed. You need to make sure that you know the degrees of the nozzle. You need to make sure that you know that the filament that you're using is the right kind. For example, recently, and we're getting ready to post that, but recently we've been given soap filament. That soap filament, we've made bars of soap. We have Gamer, we have Beaker, we have Quaker, we have DJ Ducky, we have the Soap Squad that it's going to be on our website soon enough. But like I said, it takes a pretty long time to print these ducks. So it's gonna be one of those things where you order it, and I have like 2 weeks to make it and to send you, but it's going to be in a nice little gift box, and we're going to be asking for a $50 donation, and that literally goes back to MBR, because how we have everything set up is everything is a QR code. It goes right to MBR. Nobody touches anything. It's all there. And, we've been blessed by means of the community coming together this earlier in the year. We were down $2,000 some dollars so that we could get StreamYard and the other nonprofit Signature for Soldiers. They
Stepped up.
Did I mess up again?
No, they stepped up. Is all I'm saying.
Yes, they stepped up and
to help us. Yeah.
yes, they stepped up and helped us, so we was able to do that. And for the longest time, I thought about closing down the studio because there's not a lot of veteran participation in there. But as I sit there and have my quiet time with God, he reiterates the reason why this studio is part of the mission. So we're going to do everything that we can to keep the studio up, because no matter what, it's a place here in Colorado that any local veteran can come. They can check their email. They can get a bite to eat, either a donut or a sandwich. They can conduct their own radio show and they can learn something. And I'll just tell you, 3D printing isn't easy, all right? So this is what it looked like before I learned how to 3D print. And now this is how it is. His mic thing fell off. I gotta light that up and glue that thing back on with the plastic. But the nice thing about 3D printing is that it keeps you focused. It is one of those outlets that really help the veteran create in his mind, hey, this is what I want to do. How can I do it? And then I'll say that, hey, let's do it this way, let's do it that way, and then we put it through a machine and it gives us the STL, and then after we get the STL file, we print it, and he has that STL file for forever. He doesn't have to pay for anything. That's the key thing, is not only the training but like the filament for us to be able to use it. It doesn't come easy. They have some classes here in the Denver metro area for 3D printing, and they give those classes 2 times a week. But I was kind of let's just put it this way: they frown upon people that are over 18. It's more geared towards, I think, high schoolers.
For the younger crowd.
When I got in there, they was kind of rushed to get me out, which I get that. A guy with no kids in a kid zone shorts, yeah, stranger danger. That can mean multiple things. Hell, I know I was at the pool the other day with CG, and I was there for her birthday, gave her a present, and stuff, and then I left, and she's like, "Oh, you're leaving so soon?" I'm like, "Well, I'm in a kid zone, and I'm wearing pants, and I have glasses on, so you do the math. I'm getting out of here before I'm somebody's dinner conversation." So it happens, but I'm having a lot of fun learning about the 3D printing. And I think any veteran that's in the area that wants to learn, that wants to create something, maybe a battle cross, doesn't have to be a duck,
So they can actually learn to do this remotely, though, can't they? They
Yes.
can come in the studio and they can talk about what they want to
Oh, yeah.
create, and then you can print it, and then it can be sent to them, or the file can go to something that they can print to, maybe near them, if they've got a 3D printer that they have access to. How long does it typically take for a rendering of a file to from the start of the project to the end of the project? Is it hours? Is it days? How long does it take to create something like a figure if you're doing one of the ducks?
So that's the interesting thing. So you know how you get them, Will. Will speaking to us on TikTok. No, so the nice thing about it is because of AI, it makes it a little bit easier. But the one thing that you can't replace with AI is like the technique. So, for example, you'll have an STL file and then you'll upload the STL file. Well, the way it is on the plate, determines how the slicer slice it. That means that that you're cutting it ready. Okay, this is what I want to print, kind of thing, and it will show you like what the filament is, at what percentage the headset is, or whatever mark the eyes, whatever the mark is, it'll tell you the whole settings, and it will tell you how many furgments that there is. And furgments is basically poop. Okay, so every time it changes the color, it poops. It poops out that color. You have to have a poop bag and everything. I think they should call it spaghetti, but they call it poop. So
that's funny.
Once you figure out, like, there's sometimes that you have the model at the wrong angle because the nozzle, once it's trying to get this over here and it bumps, it can knock it off of the bed. And once it's knocked off the bed, it's not stable. And then it doesn't matter if it's like 75% done. If it knocks off the table, you're done. You have to start over because they haven't designed technology yet to create, to get that sweet spot. There might be somebody that knows how to do it. Eyeball it. I am not that person.
So do you use AI to create the STL file, or is that some kind of programming that you use to draw something?
So there's 3 ways you can do it. You can use that as AI, or what you can do is you can go into other STLs. And like I'm saying, when I tell you this, like, this isn't to make like a profit or anything like that. But when you go into these other STLs, maybe there's a part or a figure or whatever that you like. Yeah. You can copy that and put it on there, and then you can kind of form your own STL. That's one way. And then if you want to make money off of it, there's 2 programs called Meshy, and there's another program called Trio. Both have their strengths, both have their weaknesses. I would lean more towards Trio because every mesh that comes off of Trio, it seems like it works real well. And then, you can add text and stuff on there. You just have to remember the thickness in millimeters. You have to have it at least 3 or 4 so that it's poking outside the wall.
So in other words, you have to know math.
You do have to know some sort of math. Yes. Yeah.
And we said we never use it when we were adults. We said we never use it when we were adults, and now we have to math all over again.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so much like welding, because when you weld, you have to make sure that you know the temperature of the metal. You need to make sure what the metal is made of, like the mixtures and all that stuff. Like, I know that. I don't know it, but I know that they need to know that stuff. I don't know the numbers off top of hand. I can tell you the numbers for the 3D printing. For example, if you're brand new and you're trying that new filament called Time Plast, it's a soap filament. If you do that soap filament, then it needs to be I believe a standard hardened 8 millimeter wide, and you have to set the nozzle temperature at about, I would say, about 220. And what's weird is you have to keep the door closed, because if you don't keep the door closed, the soap filament, it will all mess up. It will become unstable. So you have to keep the door closed. There's a hey, what's up today? There's a bunch of different filaments. Like there's chocolate filament now. There's fish food filament. I one time, I believe, Trace, I sent you a diagram of all the different filaments that this company is making.
Yes.
And, you know, so far, I'm the only one that has like made something and showed them it's something that I made. It's not like just, something off of a STL. So it's a big thing. They said that they was gonna promote it and they was gonna showboat it here in next couple of days. And it just shows you that, it doesn't matter if it's learning Spanish, it doesn't matter if it's, learning animation. If you want something bad enough and you stick to your guns, you can learn anything that you want. And hey, some people hate AI. AI has taught me a lot of stuff, and that's the way I use AI. Is I'll look into it and say, okay, what do you suggest, and then I'll try to mimic it with my own personal flavor. Same thing that we do with Canva. We add our own personal flavor.
So you said chocolate. Is it just a scent, or this isn't something like you can't create something that's edible, right? With the 3D printer?
I don't know anymore.
Because you can do soap. So does the soap have a scent? Is it just
the soap that I got, I did it purposely. I wanted to get something just, regular, plain Jane, so that I could learn how to print it. Now that I know how to print it, now I can start bringing in. But for these soaps, it's just kind of a regular soap, and then you put like eucalyptus oil or sweet pea oil or whatever right on the bottom, and it soaks it up. And yesterday I cleaned myself with Beaker, and I will tell you that the interesting thing is I came clean and I smelled clean. But you know how you get that nasty film when you use a bar of soap compared to when you use like shower gel or gel?
Yeah, some soaps, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get that film off of this. So, the next thing that I'm going to do is, I'm researching rope, and I'm going to make a soap on the rope beaker.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So, but I've learned a lot on it. And it's for any veteran or first responder in Colorado. Come on over. Schedule a time. We'll design something that you want to design, and then we'll go to print it. Hell, that sounds like a good time to me.
Definitely. It's a something that people, I think, really want to learn and are maybe scared to learn it by themselves. So having someone kind of show them the ropes and kind of walk through the process, because you've done your own investigation and your own trial and error in order to get what you've got right now. Because I know that you've had several different things you've tried and they haven't always turned out exactly as you had hoped.
Right.
But with a little effort and a little fortitude, they've come out to what you were looking for.
Well, the one thing that I've found out, and the one thing that I've noticed is, every mistake that I've made in the past, like I remember it now. For the when I first did that. So there's three kinds of actually 8, but the only 3 that you're ever going to see is the 4, the 6 millimeter, and the 8 millimeter. Very rarely are you going to see the 8 millimeter. This was a very, very, very rare occasion that I used the 8 millimeter. But you're usually going to use the 4 millimeter. And, learning like the warm, like what the temperature has to be for the bed, and the temperature has to be, in the concoction itself. It's kind of neat that I can sit there, and while the thing's going on, like I can kind of turn something, and then the nozzle will go there instead, and you can really carve inside. So just because somebody does use like a file like AI doesn't necessarily means the journey stops there, because you still have to print it, and sometimes to print it you have to stand on your head.
Right. And so you've just made some off the wall things with the printing too, like parts for a car, and
Yep.
you've made a shelf. What all have you made? What different projects have you tried?
Well, I think my pride and joy right now is the squatty potty. And then
Oh no. You need to tell us what that is now.
the squatty potty?
Yes.
The
what is
squatty
that
potty is a
exactly?
box that you put by the toilet that helps you get your knees up, because our body posture, posture has to be aligned a certain way for the chocolate ice cream to come out.
I see.
Because if you
Okay,
don't
we get
bend your
it.
knees right, you're gonna be like a McDonald's ice cream machine and not work. So that's what the squatty potty is for.
Nice. Okay. What else have you made?
Footwear, you know, when I get things, you know, slow down a little bit, I'm trying to make kind of like inventory. I'll be making more of the
The
3D print,
slides.
slides. I like to call them dolks, you know. So
Love that.
yeah, I love it too. Let's see what else. Another thing that I learned that's real interesting is there's a difference between the filament. For example, like there's P there's PLA, which is usually the most favorable one.
Mm-hmm.
But keep in mind, about 70 degrees, it starts to melt. In Colorado, we've got about, say 90 some degrees. Well,
Right.
when I went out, I had created like a display mount for my granddaughter. And that little piece that I go and tighten the phone on, it melted a little bit. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, there's a reason why they say to use PETG. So it's really important that you understand that and I'll tell you how flexible play is. I had a donation box that I made. It was in the trunk of the motorcycle. I didn't touch it. Nothing was on it. Okay.
Yeah.
It melted the front part inside the box a little bit.
Oh no.
So I had to take a hair dryer and I had to warm up the hair dryer and then press on the wall so that it would flare out. That's what I mean by it doesn't take much for play. So if you're planning on making something like a stand for a TV, anything that has to do a little bit of hot.
Right.
You want to do PETG. You can do ABS. ABS is really strong. ABS is meant for like if you want to put it right next to an engine. That's how hot ABS is. It can still somewhat melt a little bit. Carbon fiber is the next one above ABS. So there's lots of different degrees for the filaments, just like welding.
Wow. That's pretty incredible that you learned all that, because you didn't know how to 3D print before all this kicked off, did you?
I didn't know shit. But the thing is like when I learned something, it's another thing that I can show a veteran. Maybe that's not his outlet. See, like I am 48 years old and I still haven't figured out life. I'm still
I don't know
trying.
if any of us have.
Right. I'm still trying to find that outlet,
Yeah.
Is that outlet TikTok, doing like reels and videos? Is that outlet gaming, where you can make money or, just play for the joy of it,
Right.
That's why gamers do. All right, is your outlet like cartoons? Do you like coloring books? If you like coloring books, you would be amazing as an animator.
Right.
You know. Yeah, apologies for being rude. Hi, Tracer.
Hi, Timothy.
I love Timothy. Timothy's my blue. But yeah, it's I'm blessed that God gave me that chance
Right.
to learn that stuff. And that's the reason why whenever somebody asks me like, hey, should I go to college or should I go to an internship? I would say go to an internship every time, because usually the internship isn't going to cost you. You'll get something out of it. Rather you paying for a class. And let's face it, a lot of us, once we get out of high school, it's a different environment. It's shaky ground, so it's always a caution. So I would encourage anybody to really get into the internships. And even if MBR isn't your cup of tea, if there's another nonprofit organization that could use your help, help there.
Yes.
It's not just rewarding. Like it's very fulfilling when you teach somebody. And like today, we're not gonna announce it, like the name or whatever, but today I had a prior intern that told me that he just sold his show and that he's
Awesome.
going the big time. I mean, you saw that post, and it's amazing that we are enabling our veterans to go the extra mile. Yeah, MBR, sure, it's a footstone to some, but you know what? It's a footstone to veterans that have something to say, and damn it, they earn that shit on the battlefield. They should have every right to say that compared to some people.
I agree, and we've seen a lot of people move on to other things, from starting a podcast here or starting some kind of radio show, something like that. So we're really excited for people's progression and for what they're doing and the things that they're able to bring to the wider audience, the veteran community, or the wider audience of just the community in general. So you talked a little bit about cartooning. So we do have that on the platform too. So if you want to learn how to animate, we do have a little video that you and one of the other hosts created, and we sent that out about a month ago. Maybe
it was on Father's Day, and we have a new one coming out. It's called Beaker's Life. You get a feel for who Beaker is and what he went through to get where he is now, and that's going to come out. I hate to say like a debut date, because Murph is busy as I am, but we really think that we can get it out by September 11th. And the reason why we kind of want to get it out for September 11th is because, September 11th, that changed a lot of people's minds. That's the reason why that's an important day. If you can think back in that time, I know so long ago, but if you can think back in that time, when those towers came down, we was like any man in a country bar. If somebody touched our woman, we'd be just striking. We wouldn't even be asking questions. And that's the day that our country really got unified.
Right.
We really got unified. We reminded everybody, hey, we got you. We got you. That's an important day.
It is.
Because we, no matter how old you are, you can reflect on that by even what people said. It's a different time now than it was back then, but that doesn't mean that we can't get back to that. That's what
Right. Yeah, I mean, we were all together and very patriotic when that came about. And, people really did set aside their differences to come together to make a big difference. So, yes, we can do that. And I know that there's a lot of people that are trying to find a way to bridge the gap and to let everyone set aside their political views, their likes, dislikes, whatever, to just make a difference for the country. And I think really that's what's important at the end of the day, is us coming together as a country, not our differences, but our similarities and our common desire to see, one nation under God, with liberty and freedom for all. I think that's all what we want to see. We don't want to go back to a day when, it's only for a certain few. We want all of us to be in that freedom and in that space. So I think we can come together with that for sure.
Exactly.
So, if you want to podcast, what does somebody do if they want to podcast? If they want a show like this and they want to be on TikTok, or they want to be on YouTube, or they want to be on Instagram, what do they do?
Well, the first thing that they do is they get on the website and they schedule a one-on-one class with me and Amber. Me and Amber have a little bit of a checklist now that we'll go by. Okay, yeah, we taught you that. Yep, you graduated that. Yep. And then you get to be on air instead of us rushing you to get on air. We want to give you the what's worked for us. We're not going to say that we're professionals. We're not going to say that all of us went to college or anything like that. But what we will say is that, hey, this is what we have found that works for this platform. This is what works for bringing people in, stuff like that. And when you do come into the class, we're gonna guide you. We're gonna help you create a logo. We're gonna help you create your platform.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be veteran related. It can be soccer. It can be football. It can be whatever you want it to be. That's what this platform is all about. We have an audio server, a talk server, a video server. We have all these different servers. They're just outlets. What outlet do you think that you would excel in? What do you want to try? I wouldn't doubt we have somebody come and say, hey, what? I want to try DJing for 2 weeks, or I want to try talk radio, or I just want to be a guest. We get a lot of that as well. And you can also hey, I just want to do a voice for a cartoon. You can totally do that. The limits, literally the sky's the limit here at MBR. And we're all in this together. Just schedule a time right on the website and just come with ideas and we'll work at it together.
And that's exactly what I did when I came to MBR. I found the ad in the Veterans newsletter and it said, be a podcaster. And I was like, what? This is exactly what I was looking for. So I scheduled a time. Took a little while to get on board because there was such a demand and such a scheduling rush that it took a little while to get on, but I got on and I was helped with creating logos, with kind of how to use the platform, how to use StreamYard,
right?
All the different things. And then, MBR helps with guests too, because a lot of guests reach out to MBR and want to be on. And so we have them on multiple shows because they have a really good message or a really good story. So we share guests to really give them the exposure that they need or that they may want for a new book, a new single, a new program they developed, or maybe a nonprofit that they started. So we really want to highlight veterans across the board, whatever they might be doing. So if they're animating, or if they're writing books, or if they're writing songs, or if they're in a band, or if they're doing some kind of performance somewhere, or if they have a nonprofit, or if they have a product that they're trying to sell, we try to highlight those. And so really what we're trying to do is maybe get the veteran exposed to a different audience, and also out into the veteran community. So, really here at MBR, you can really decide what it is that you're interested in and how you want to develop your show or develop a product for veterans.
And and we're in Westminster, Colorado, 9191 Sheridan Boulevard. Come by, be nosy. You can sit in. You don't have to be on camera. You don't have to talk, but you can come in. You can see what we're doing. You can observe and just watch. You never know. You might find the content funny. Come in. The name of the game is that every veteran has a place where they can go here in Colorado. They don't have to question it tomorrow. They know that they can come here. You always, the one thing in life you always know is that one person or that one place that you can go to that's always going to be there. So
that's good to know.
Yeah.
And we have a couple of hosts on the show tonight that are in the audience, and we have Oscar Mike Radio, Travis, and he has a really great show on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, I believe, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then we have the World of Conscious, I was about to set it wrong. MJ was going to get me. The World of Conscious Positive Thinking, and she's on at 9 p.m. a.m. Eastern on Mondays. So you can catch her show. But all of us came to the platform and learned how to podcast. Travis kind of did his own thing, but he's on our platform too. But he's helping be on our board and teach our veterans how to podcast. And he's got students of his own that he's teaching. So he really is teaching the craft to his different students that he works with. So we really appreciate what MJ and what Travis are doing. And MJ is a really good resource for self-help and self-healing. And the sky is not the limit. You're right, MJ. I'm sorry. So it's limitless what you can do. So let's just put it there instead of giving us a boundary. We don't have a boundary. So we're thinking outside the box tonight. But so if you want to be a DJ, though, if you really love music and you really love radio, you can record a show and we can play it, or you can go live. So we have live DJs and we have pre-recorded DJs. We have both. And both are very well received amongst the audience. And our audience goes all over the world. You would be really surprised to hear how many countries we're in, because I was. We're in France, Colombia. We're in Russia, Mexico, Holland.
I know Germany.
Yeah, we're all over the place. So you can catch us at mbradio.us, and you can listen live there, or you can download the app and you can listen there. You can take us with you wherever you go. I listen in my car all day long. I take my phone and I turn on the app, and I've got the best music all day long. And for the most part, it's commercial free too. And most of it's good for office hearing, but some songs may be a little iffy. You may have to turn it down a time or two, but for the most part, you can listen at work and not have your boss be upset.
I hope that I did not cuss during this interview. I was just thinking about the tracer. And if I did, I apologize.
Well, we might be able to airbrush it out. Airbrush the audio.
It just dawned on me. I'm like, oh boy. I think I said something. Anyways. But give us a shot. What do you have to lose? It's not going to cost you guys anything, So come on by and we'll 3D print something together.
Right.
Look at that. MBR bringing people together. Woo woo.
Right? Yeah, MJ and I met on this platform, and I actually was on duty in Miami, and she was a Miami host at the time. So I said, "Hey, why don't we get together?" And she agreed, and so we spent some time together and hung out. So really, this is a community. It's a place where you can make lasting friendships, where you can help one another. Through whatever you're going through. It really is a place for all. It's not just, even if you don't really want to do any of those things, you don't want to podcast, you don't want to animate, you don't want to learn how to 3D print, you don't want to be on the radio, but you just want to hang out with other veterans and just support each other. We have those too.
Well, while I have this guy on here, I want to give Tim a real quick shout out.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that you and MJ have friended him, and when I tell you who he is, you and MJ are going to be like, "Oh wow!" So I went to you guys when you first started, and I was really worried about a soldier in Florida that needed some help, PTSDs, stuff like that. Do you remember me talking about that?
Yeah.
That was Tim. Tim is now doing a lot better. He's getting ready to do some kind of like MDT training or whatever, but he has made a complete 180, and I mean that's just an example.
Yeah.
What the station does, and like you guys didn't even know that was him. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to show you in real life, hey, that's a veteran that you guys have. That's a veteran that you guys helped.
That's awesome.
I just wanted to bring that to your attention. That's all.
Well, thank you. Congratulations, Tim, on getting yourself in a good place. And if you ever need help or support, we're here.
Now I probably embarrassed him.
No. I don't think so. He seems like he's a pretty hardy dude. He can handle it. He can handle it. So if you
haven't got a text from him yet, so I don't.
He's like, stop it.
Right.
So what else would you tell somebody in the audience that's thinking about doing one of these things? How would you tell them to start? So you said make an appointment, but if they're afraid to make an appointment, like how can they take the first baby steps to get something started?
They can give us a call. They can find out. What's the radio station like, or how things are going, or if they just have questions. It's totally questions. I always say that the hardest thing to do is to get somebody to the door. And the reason why is because, think about it, if you're going to some place and you don't really know where it is because you've never been to their house or anything, so you already got the stress traffic and you got the stress of, going to grab something before you go to the event, right? And then on top of it, you're sitting there trying to find parking. And sometimes, when you reach out to somebody, hey, you want to go out? Honestly, that's one of the reasons why they say, nah, I'm just not feeling like it, because you have no idea what's went through their day, and it's really stressful sometimes to find a location or find the building. So that's my that's my encouragement is, reach out and try and go somewhere different. Try to come by the MBR building. Give us a call, whatever it is. We just want to help you find an outlet, and I think I speak for all of us here, all the hosts, that, if MBR isn't your outlet, we will help you find a nonprofit or another navigation tool that can help you succeed on your journey. That's what we're here about.
Absolutely. because we do have a lot of resources, people that come to us with different things that they offer. And so if we aren't your resource, like H Train said, if we're not your resource, we can find a community maybe where you fit better or where you want to be, or just a resource to help you with what you're going through at the time. Because the last thing you want to do is feel like you have to do everything alone. On this platform and the other platforms with the nonprofits, no one should ever feel alone. There should be some place where you fit in. If it's not here, then it could be there. It could be learning to camp, learning to hike, learning to maybe do bows and arrows. I mean, participating in the Wounded Warrior events that they have once a year. There's always something for you, depending upon what your abilities or what your hobbies are or what you like to do. There's something for everyone. So don't feel like just because this one isn't yours, that there isn't something that's out there for you, because we should be able to connect you. We have a lot of people that are in a lot of different organizations, and they can be your resource. Mm-hmm. So reach out and just let us know, because we're here to help. And like I said, if you just want to hang out with us, and we have people that are in our chat that don't do a radio show, they or host a music show, they just want to be part of the conversation and help support a nonprofit. And we appreciate everyone that's helping us in the chat or in just in general being part of our community, because we need everyone. We need people that just spread the word. We need people spread the word by their podcast or by their music or by sharing on Facebook if they have a radio show and they're putting out positive messages, like maybe the Motivated Mindset with Jose Flores. Mm-hmm. He's a very passionate motivator, and he does a lot of things for MBR and a lot of things for veterans. So he can probably plug you into something too. We've got several different shows and hosts that really can help you in your daily life and make a difference for you.
Yeah, and the real important thing is, when you come to MBR, you kind of, I know, you can kind of put MBR on your resume, because one thing that we do that's really important here is we teach you how to conduct, how to produce. We teach you how to do the whole show. You might be good, but there might be some things that we can teach you to make you even better. We've already had a couple of interns left the nest, and they're doing incredible. They're doing incredible work. They really are. And that can be you too. It's not too late. You're not too old. I'm 48, so but come give us a try.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you can help support us by donations, we're always up to take those as well, because every dollar does go right back into helping veterans, giving veterans a voice, things to help with veteran programming, just supplies that are needed. All that money goes right back in to help veterans in whatever we're doing, whatever platform they're on. They're supporting StreamYard or supporting keeping the lights on in the studio, but all the money goes right back in. No one's taking a salary. We're all volunteers, and we're all here to help. So feel like you're giving to a 501c3 that's making a difference. I think we are, and I think we're trying to do that.
Hey, I'll even take foot pictures. I'll take feet pictures. All right. If somebody's out there willing to pay for feet pictures as donation, we could have just right. I will take pictures of my feet. Just throwing it out there.
Hopefully that won't be necessary. We're hoping it's not necessary. Well, do you have any final thoughts before we close up the show?
The only final thought.
This is your time to shine.
Yeah, the only final thought is, if you're looking around and you ain't got no friends, go be that friend.
True. Yeah, I love that. That's true. Everyone should have someone they can talk to. So if you don't have that someone, find someone that you can be a friend to and help them through a rough spot. I love it. Well, thank you for joining in a pinch there, H Train, because my guest didn't show up, but we did get to hear his music. So maybe I'll have him on another time. But I really am excited to have talked about what we're doing here at MBR, because I think it's really important. And I think, learning more about the platform and learning more about what we do is always definitely a good opportunity to kind of really say our message or get our message out. So.
I think so too. And come on by or give us a call, everybody. We're open pretty much 24/7.
Sounds good. Oh, so one final. Let's see, what do we got? Oh, she's giving us some props, I think, for MBR. I love it. All right. Well, this is Tracer Rounds and H Train signing off.
Hi, I'm Beaker with Military Broadcast Radio TV. We're your virtual MWR, bringing veterans radio, podcasts, gaming, animation, 3D printing, and a community that never leaves you behind. Download our Roku or mobile app today.
Wisdom to share if you listen this week, so pull up a chair and stay for a spell. We're heading down a trail where good stories dwell.